Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Modern and Modest, and with me today we have Shakira Desai from the Arab Bistro restaurant here in Durban. Assalamu alaikum Shakira, and welcome to Modern and Modest.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Nafina. Jazakallah for having me on the show today.
It's such a pleasure having you on our show today. We tend to see each other on a weekly basis, and today we have the opportunity of interviewing you. So Shakira, maybe you can share with our viewers and with myself just a little bit more about yourself.
All right, so I'd like to just share that firstly, I am new to Durban, fairly new, and I'm getting quite used to the climate and just being in Durban in the vicinity. I'm married in Durban. I've got 3 kids of my own. And I've actually been in the food industry for a while now, but very silently. And I'm quite ready to now take on and be in the restaurant environment. And I'd like to just give you a little more about myself.
Okay, so before we get into the restaurant environment, how are you finding Durban? Is it a huge change for you apart from the climate?
Well, Durban, I say new, but I am here now for about 10 years. Okay. So it's a while. However, it's taking longer to get used to the place. It is different, quite different compared to Johannesburg. And yes, I'm enjoying it. It's really nice for the kids, for my kids, and for their upbringing. I do like Durban in general. It's laid back, and the weather is always beautiful, very relaxed. Okay. Yeah.
So Shakira, we chatted about you getting involved more into the restaurant business. So food has been something that you've been passionate about. You have a flair about creating recipes, from my understanding. So when did you find that you were drawn into the kitchen, and when was food a passion for you?
Well, to be very honest, I've always been in the accounting field, and that was my career choice. So I went to university, I studied, and from there I definitely decided to get married earlier than expected. So when I took the decision of getting married, I thought I'd continue with accounting as and when I could go on. Having said that, I decided after a year that we'd like to expand our family and have a baby. So it wasn't as easy as just continuing with studies. So of course I carried on with part-time studies, and I then decided that I have to just maybe take on the responsibility of a family and seeing to my kids and my husband as well. So I put that aside for a while, and I was totally a dedicated mom and wife. So that's exactly what kept me at home, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So that was my decision altogether. And then of course I had to look deeper and further into doing something that I enjoyed and something that I loved. So definitely the kitchen was available, and that was in my home, and the closest place for me to pour my heart out and do what I do best. I was told many times that that's your forte and just focus on it, do something that you enjoy. But of course I didn't want to leave my little boy at home and also be out at work and doing things outdoor when I knew that my responsibility was at home. So I then just went a little deeper and thought that in his nap times when I had to myself, I'd rather go into the kitchen and work experiment, definitely.
So it started out as just something that you were great at. It was your expertise, sitting around the kitchen and experimenting, I presume, with different types of food recipes and menu options and so forth. But when did you find that this would be now a career choice for you? Talk to us about your food journey as a career. When did that start out for you, and how did it start out for you?
All right, so this has actually started many years ago, probably about 15 years now, where I felt that I enjoyed just the fact of taking a simple dish and plating it to look extraordinary, different, something that you could relate to visually. So when you actually look down at the plate, it could relate a lot more. So it's tying food, taste, and an experience at the same time. So when I say experience, I feel that fine dining and plating's got a lot to do with attachment to what you're putting down onto a plate. So I created that attachment initially when I went into development of food, and just the recipe itself. And from there, I felt I need to put a little more into it. So I would not just only do the development and recipe. I thought I'd also just incorporate making it look really good.
I suppose the presentation in how you present your platter,
Yes.
it has to be appealing first in order for any individual to enjoy that meal or look forward to it.
Definitely.
So did you go through to a chef's school, or was it self-taught? I mean, starting out as a hobby and now leading into a career path, where did it start for you?
All right, so I would say that I am self-taught, as I haven't been to a chef school as such, but there's many different courses that I've attended and seen. And I personally feel that going to a chef school, I could have went that route. I feel that I do have time on my hands now with my kids all grown, or older than like where I have to see to them personally myself. But I feel that you learn a lot more when you are actually looking at things from your eye, from your what attracts you most. And in Arabistro itself, you will see that every plate has got a signature look to it. Every plate has attention and detail. And the comments I've been getting lately on my plating is that I haven't seen this before, or I haven't seen this before, because yes, I haven't actually taken it out from a magazine or a book or a textbook, for example, or I haven't learned it or did an assignment on it. It's just something that comes naturally.
So it's just your creativity that you put
Yes,
out
it
and
is.
present.
Creativity,
on your platters.
definitely, and that's exactly what I look to do.
Okay, so Shakira, coming back to Arabistro, how long have you been the owner of this beautiful restaurant? And tell me more about what you offer, and what you spoke about a signature look, or do you have signature dishes that you can share with our viewers as well?
All right, so my menu is quite widespread, I would say, for a boutique setup. When I say boutique, it has taken me a while to look for the ideal spot for myself. And the reason for this is I feel coming from home, basically, cooking and doing catering, I can say that by doing this myself, I can definitely see to about 50 people at a time. So I looked into that and I said, I would like to be able to be directly involved. Even though I do have a team behind me at Arabistro that's very much involved, I've also done all training by myself, getting them in line with what I'm looking for and what I'd like to be put out there. So coming back to my menu, I would definitely say it's spread between your breakfast, lunch and dinner, with light meals involved as well. Signature dishes, I would say, for Durban itself, I look very deep into that, and it has taken me a little longer being based in Durban, knowing that the Durban palate is slightly different as compared to Johannesburg, coming from there. So Durban loves spice, and I love that. I love that about Durban. Everyone likes to taste something that's flavor. It's got a lot of flavor and rich, and I am quite particular with ingredients. So I would say what ties me apart or makes it a bit different is the fact that we are a smaller seating and a setting, but at the same time our ingredients that are being used are very, very, very naturally orientated, and also hand-picked in most cases. Like, we've got a beautiful garden outside.
So would you say very organic? Your ingredients
yes.
are very organic. So Shakira, apart from having the little boutique restaurant that you have, you've also developed a baking brand. Tell us about the baking brand. What is it called? How did it start for you? And what got you into that?
All right, so my brand is called NutriBake, and I have started now, you could say it's about 3 years. NutriBake has a lot of sentiments to me, because it's got a story behind it. It wasn't the easiest route to take, but it was something definitely worth the challenge. It came along with my little boy that's now 2 years old, and alhamdulillah, he has overcome the allergies that he was going through. But at 6 months old, he of course wasn't able to digest or ingest any gluten, dairy or sugar. So it limited his diet completely, and being 6 months old, I also chose the route of breastfeeding. And being a breastfeeding mom, I had to eliminate all those items from my diet as well.
Okay.
So with that, it was definitely a challenge altogether. And to get together items that were like a replacement, basically. That's exactly what I looked at, because going out, it's easy to find items that may not have gluten in it.
But it could have the dairy and the
Yes,
sugar.
dairy and sugar.
Okay.
And so it limited our diet completely. And with that, the development started for NutriBake.
So, what NutriBake? What is it all about? Is it a full offering? Is it just biscuits? Is it just tell us, under the brand NutriBake, what items fall under that brand?
Okay, so I've got a number of items actually. We've got a gluten-free range, which fall directly under those that cannot have any gluten at all or ingest any types of gluten, as well as spelt, right? So it's it's rice-based, and it's just put together in a form of bread, which gives you a perfect complement to any food, basically. It looks just like bread.
Okay.
It is different in texture and taste, which is it's expected, because you're taking rice and forming it into a bread loaf, basically, right? So that was one of our replacements, which worked very well in most cases. We then were allowed to have bread and sandwiches, and there were a few things added to our diet. And then we've got biscuits, because biscuits, being a 6-month-old, you normally tend to give them a little budwa biscuit or something in the hand to say it's a little treat. And in this case, there were absolutely no biscuits available for my little boy to eat, or any sweet treats for that matter. So we went into looking into biscuits. And from there, we built more onto confectionery, which is your muffins and cakes as well. So all gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free.
So you've created a full brand from bread, your basic bread, your cookies, and now you've expanded into muffins and cakes. Alhamdulillah. We'll take an ad break, and when back we can chat more about how you, maybe some tips you can give us on how we could build a strong business brand. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Margin and Margins, and with me today we have Shakira Desa. So alhamdulillah, Shakira, just before our ad we spoke about how you've developed a very successful brand, the baking brand NutriBake, and owner and founder of the Arab Bistro restaurant. So what does it take to actually build a good business brand? I mean, you've been alhamdulillah successful in that. Maybe you can share some tips with us.
All right. Jazakallah for that question, Naushina. To be honest, business in short term is not the easiest route. There's many different aspects that come along with business itself, and I am actually only learning as I go along. So what I can say is that I don't mind sharing a little more with regards to my experience, what I've actually had to go through with regards to building the business itself. Okay, so to start with NutriBake, it was actually home-based. It was very small. It was something that I did in a very small scale. So it was easier for me to go ahead with, and I found a lot of confidence in saying there are many people that could be just like me out there, or my little boy that needs these type of products, that needs to like have alternate food and nutrition. So for me, that was easier to take out there. There were challenges with that, but I do feel it was very, I worked in a wholesale base, and I supplied stores, not really retail. Okay. So it wasn't much interaction with clients as such. It was just stores and direct supplying. However, with NutriBake, on the other hand, it's a very different business altogether. It's food, and a lot of people and close relatives, friends, my family, for example, always question and would like to know what made me actually go out and do this. I do feel that saying that it's food and knowing that it is a difficult one, I am personally confident in the fact that this type of business can work if you just keep it original, and also just try to do your best at every serving, basically. Okay. It is
Working
to
also keeping it consistent.
Yes.
Which would be important.
So consistency is key in any business, not only the food industry. Being consistent definitely keeps you grounded and also keeps you thinking back to where you started. So if you go back to where you started, it obviously just brings you back to the thought of something small, doing it in a smaller scale. Now, in a business field, you're doing it just in a bigger scale. And of course, you're doing it at demand. So there's different palettes, there's different types of people, there's all types out there. And what I'm actually looking for at Arabistro, for myself and for my business to grow, is for people to actually just come into Arabistro, appreciate the ambience, the environment, the boutique setup, the fine dining experience that I feel our community needs in Durban. It's something very different for me as well. Coming from Johannesburg, there's many fine dining restaurants, halal, that's available to us. In Durban, it is slightly limited. So for me, I felt that let's bring this out and let's get Durban on par with the trending times.
Okay. So with all of that, have you found that you've encountered any difficulties along the journey with NutriBake or even Arabistro for that matter?
All right, so yes, I have actually had many different challenges and encounters with Arabistro. Let's start with that. Like I said, the Durban palette, so that's something I definitely touch on. I had to learn the palette, and I feel going out, trying different types of cuisine, food, and also bringing in a lot of opinion. I always love an opinion. So I thought I don't feel that my recipe or my development is the best, but it's the best that I can do. So I thought, let me get in the palates of Durban, those that are familiar, those that know that this is what they like. They are from Durban, they enjoy spicy food, they want different taste and texture. So that's exactly what I felt I needed to bring in to overcome that type of challenge. But going forward, I would also say I had a lot of challenge with area, getting an audience that would actually appreciate and want this type of setting. Remember, being the executive part of my kitchen, development and costing falls directly on my shoulders. And if you have to look at my menu at any time, it's definitely not in the price range of many restaurants that are in and around my area. Upper North as well, I did a lot of comparison, but then pricing, costing had to be a decision that I had to take upon myself to say that we are limited, seats are limited, and it's something that I have to do for those that would love to come in and try, taste, and also find it worth it to pay the price for my meals. That was definitely a challenge as well. And then one more challenge would be just getting the setup right, to create the look and the feel that I felt I wanted. It was a vision. It was something that I wanted to get out there, but putting it together business-wise, it's not only costly, at the same time it's got a lot to do with finer detail, and putting finer detail together with business sometimes doesn't always work. So it was just a learning throughout the experience. Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, you've managed well with those challenges. Talk to us about your accomplishments thus far.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, what I can say is, with all the challenges that I've been through, I'd like to just be thankful and say alhamdulillah that now I've come to a point where Arabistro is finally open full for breakfast, lunch and dinner from 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., which we did not expect initially. I am here from April now, and it has been development completely by myself in the kitchen, on the inside and on the out with settings. So it took a long time. From April up until now, if you count the months, it was quite long, tedious, very tiring. But to say, to end this, to say to the viewers as well that hard work does pay off, and it does take a lot of time, effort, and responsibility. Also bringing you back to grounding. Grounding means taking you back to what's important, and what's important to me is definitely my children and my husband. So going back to that, putting that first, is what makes it important, and thereafter putting work together has definitely become an accomplishment for me.
Okay. So being a female entrepreneur, and I think the sky is the limit with you because you started out with accounting and then your passion for food has developed into two successful brands. What tips and advice can you share with other young people that are struggling to grow their businesses into a successful business?
All right, so there's definitely advice that I'd like to give to those out there, especially the young people out there that have great aspiration and would like to achieve something or be an entrepreneur one day. It's basically just having a view and believing in yourself, knowing that there's something that I'd really like to do. It may be something really small, or it could be a really great big thing, but if you believe in it, there's definitely a way where you could walk forward and get over it and get right to the finishing of that point, where you would be able to take it out there, move forward, and bring it into an environment where you can make money of something that was just either a thought or a view, like I said, and you're bringing it forward out there to people that can appreciate it and put an amount to it. That's basically what you're doing. Getting something great out there that you are particularly great at, and allowing or an allowance for people to be able to spend money towards it.
With you, it started out with your journey of your little one not being able to tolerate certain food types. What about some women that are at home and have these great ideas? What advice can you share with them? Because not everybody feels confident on going out into the real world and having to launch a new business. But what can you do within your home? Because you mentioned it started within your space.
That's a great question, Naushina. I would say there's many ladies in particular that have absolutely greatness in their hands, if I must say. If you look at the things that are, well, social media, for example, Instagram, if you just go through pages and have a look at home-based ladies that are at home that are doing amazing things, really amazing things that I myself look at and it gives me inspiration sometimes, just looking at it and saying, you know what, I'd like to actually do this, and now it's in a business field. You are out there. You can definitely get out there. You don't have to be in the real world. You can do that from home. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Home industries are successful, and it's actually trending right now, if I must say so myself. There's a lot of ladies that's finding themselves and finds the need or has found the need to just make an importance of what they do.
So Shakira, we're having all that discussion about your plating and how you present your food and the recipes that you come up with. I know that you have something very exciting in store for us after our ad break. Tell our viewers what you'd be sharing with them.
Right, so today I've put together a few of our options that are on our menu. So we'll be doing a savory option, which is our Arabistro Mediterranean breakfast, which is quite famous on our menu at the moment. And then we've chosen a sweet option as well, which is the French toast. It's a dessert option for breakfast. And then we'll just maybe show you a few items that are actually on our menu as well.
Okay. We'll take a quick ad break, and when back we'll get Shakira to show us how to make those beautiful recipes that she just spoke about. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Modern and Modest, and we are with Shakira Desai from Arabistro restaurant in her kitchen with her head chef Alton. So Shakira, I leave it to you and you can show us what we're going to be preparing today.
Okay, thanks so much, Naushina. Welcome to our kitchens at Arabistro. We'll be taking you through the Arabistro Mediterranean savory breakfast this morning, as well as our French toast, which is a sweet option. Come through with us. Right, so to start off, we will be doing a dukkha butter spice, which goes on the egg of our Arabistro Mediterranean breakfast. Chef, do you have your butter melted?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then we're going to be adding our exotic nut and spice blend. You toss this around until it's slightly golden. And then you add some heat, making sure that the heat doesn't turn black or dark. As
So
it will
will
create
that
a
just be
butter.
your basic red chili powder that you'd be using?
Yes, it actually is heat. It depends on you if you'd like to do something a bit more spicy or if you want to do it a little mild. So you choose between your peri spice and maybe like the chili powder if you like, right? Okay, as soon as you get you see a nice glossy look on the top, we're ready to go. Okay, to top it at the end, you just throw in some sesame seeds to add in flavor, and you allow it to soak so that it grabs out all the lovely flavors of sesame. So now we're going over to cracking our eggs and getting it ready for our bistro Mediterranean breakfast. Well done, chef. Okay, so for today we're doing fried eggs. That's the most common request that we get. So we're doing a normal fried egg, sunny side, and we will be spreading your dukkha spice on the top of it.
So, you know, we all find eggs, well, it seems very simple to prepare a fried egg. But can you share with us how long should an egg fry for? If you want a soft center or you want a hard yolk, how can you tell if the egg is done?
Right, so basically you'll be looking at maybe plus minus 4 to 5 minutes for a sunny side egg just in general without flipping over. And then if you are looking at maybe a harder egg, you will be then going maybe a little longer to about 6.5 to 7 minutes, right?
Okay.
Flipped over, of course.
And the temperature when frying an egg?
Your temperature will be around, say, about 100 degrees on a flat top griller. And then if you're doing it on a stove top, I would say, especially gas, you're just going to minimize your gas to a shallow heat. You don't want anything too hot.
So when you choose a fat that you want to fry your eggs with, which would you say is the best option for fried eggs?
At the moment, to be honest, we've got two options, and we do cater for vegans as well. So you can use your coconut oil, which creates a very nice look to the egg as well, because coconut oil has very high heating point. And then you've got a sunflower oil that you can use as well, which is the more common one. I know many places use palm oil, but we are strictly, we don't actually use any palm oil in any of our products. So that stays out of our kitchen. And at the moment we are using normal vegetable oil.
Okay, so Shakira, we've got beautiful sunny side eggs, and we're creating the Arab Bistro Mediterranean breakfast. So maybe show us how you put the whole thing together, some tips on how you do the plating.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I've got all our ingredients, everything ready and prepped to go. Onto your plate, we will then put all ingredients as we pack them. I've got them ready packed. This is our cucumber and carrot sticks. We've got falafel that goes onto the plate as well, and aubergine. So this is the component of our plate.
So the Mediterranean Arab Bistro Mediterranean breakfast would be your Turkey-style fried eggs,
Yes,
and we've got your falafel, your grilled aubergines, your kebab, carrot and cucumber sticks with a rich
Dukkha
butter.
Yes. So when it comes to plating, you do want to see every item that's offered on your plate. So it's just a balance between colors as well.
Okay.
So we're looking at putting together all our sides, which is your olives, feta, as well as some tzatziki dip. What I then do is top my aubergine with a little bit of pomegranate.
Okay.
And my eggs with some dukkha spice.
So that just enhances the flavor.
Yes, it does. It's got all the beautiful nuts and nutty flavors to it, which creates a really good taste and balance to egg.
Okay, so that's a nice combination of flavors, because you've got your olives, you've got your cheese, your falafel, your kebabs, and then your eggs with a bit of that spice and the nutty flavor.
Yes, it is. It's a great balance, and we've got then, to top it off, we do a little bit of micro herbs on top of the falafel and the kebab, and you're good to go.
It's also a nice balance of having your protein, your veggies. You've got a bit of the lentil combination there, so it's actually quite a balanced, healthy option.
Yes, I would say so myself. So this is our Arab Bistro Mediterranean breakfast, and it is one of our famous items on our menu, and you're welcome to come and try them.
So Shakira, we've created this Mediterranean, Arabistro Mediterranean breakfast. Now, not everyone enjoys a spicy meal early in the morning or for brunch.
Yes.
What are we preparing now for that person that has a sweet tooth?
All right, so we do have a dessert option, which is a breakfast as well. We call it our sweet French toast. We've got a sweet egg batter that we get together with some cinnamon to spice it up, and then we take our homemade bread, which is sourdough. We dip them into the egg batter and we fry them in butter.
So how long do you fry it on each side?
All right, so we would do like maybe about 2 minutes on each side until it gets a nice golden crispy color.
Okay.
It needs to crisp on all 4 sides because it actually needs to be, it's not a very soft bread. Sourdough is, it's artisanal and it's got a firmer base to it.
Okay.
So once you crisp it nice and well, it actually goes quite well as a sweet option.
Okay, so with your sweet French toast, what do you serve that with? Is there a dip that goes with it, or can you just drizzle maple or honey over it?
All right, so we've got options on our menu, and there's a marshmallow fluff that we serve with it, which goes really well. Then we've got Nutella, we've got fruit, seasonal fruit if you like, and maple or golden syrup.
Okay, now I can understand why you call it a dessert option for breakfast.
Exactly, it's really sweet and it's lovely.
Okay, Shakira, so is this now your French toast complete? And I see you've dusted it with some sugar and cinnamon.
Yes.
All right.
So like I said, with the sourdough it's a special bread, I would say. It doesn't have, it's a healthier option, and also it doesn't have it's not very spongy.
Okay.
So
it's
the
more
sugar,
firmer
it's
texture.
firm, so the sugar and cinnamon help a lot with the taste, right?
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going.
So we've got your plate with some icing sugar.
Yes, we dust it with some icing sugar. That also adds to flavor, although it's just on the plate itself, right? And then you've got your French toast, which I felt looks really good as a puzzle on the board itself. Next, we do take our marshmallow fluff and plate this onto the board as well as onto your French toast.
Okay.
These are my little flowers that add a lot of color.
Oh. Also add some nice color to the
Yes.
border as well.
There you go. You can. We usually serve it with a little bit of maple or honey on the side. Then you're good to go and enjoy them with a little dip.
Okay, Shakira, we know that you've got this creative mind, and it's in your heart with the way you go with the flow in putting your colors together and plating your food so beautifully. So we'll take a quick ad break, and when back, maybe you can teach us on how we could plate simple things like perhaps a burger or seafood. You can just share those ideas with our viewers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Modern and Modest, and with me we have Shakira Desai from the Arab Bistro Kitchen. So Shakira, you've wowed us with the beautiful plates that you've put out here for breakfast with your plating. Tell us what we're going to be plating next.
Okay, so next I've chosen the prawns of our menu. There was a lot of thought going into the actual source of the prawns, so I feel that's where the taste comes from. So it is a homemade sauce that's made here at the Arab Bistro restaurant, and with that I will be going through the plating of our actual dish and just pairing it with different textures that go well.
So Shakira, when it comes down to you putting together, be it breakfast or a light meal, you've got a very creative mindset with plating. Why is plating so important when it comes to serving a meal?
Right, so plating, firstly, I do think that you eat with your eyes, and whatever you look at needs to be appetizing and look good in order for you to actually want to dig in. So I would definitely say that plating comes with creativity, and putting that together, making it look good, definitely makes someone feel like they want to eat it.
I suppose even when you're at home and you're getting a guest coming through, it's how you present your meal that
Most
makes the
definitely.
whole.
So yes, of course, this is done in a restaurant now, but remember, this started off at home, like I said previously in my interview, that you can definitely be doing this at home. It just needs to, it just takes a little more time, but of course, it looks beautiful when plated and when your guests are eating.
Okay, so what do we have there?
So I've got savory rice, which I use a standard normal cup. You can
Okay.
choose your size, and of course, we just throw that over onto your plate. And we've got our prawns, which I did say to you earlier, is marinated and cooked in our Arabistro basting.
So when you come up with these ideas and design of plating, do you think about color? What processes do you go through when you want to put together a platter?
Yes, definitely. You do look at color, because color, you cannot sometimes always plate or put together items together with regards to color that don't look good. Like, for example, if you're going to be putting darker colors together, it's not very appealing to the eye. So you're going to be looking at colors that breaks up the plate. So
Okay.
you've got a lighter base, for example, then you're going to go with a little more of the brighter colors for your plating itself. Like in this particular plate, if you have a look, we've got a lot of sauce. So the sauce itself has two different colors in it. You've got a lighter color, which is your base, and then you've got some chili that sticks out as well.
So I'm sure your platter, the color of your platter is also important that you're going to be plating the food on.
Yes, definitely. The color of the platter is important. So in this case, I took something clean, which is your white background. And then this is basically just a plating of our prawns and rice on the side. We do pair it with a side salad, which goes to the table as well. The salad creates the crunch and the break between your flavors and your taste.
And it also adds more color to the dish. Now, Shakira, where do you draw your inspiration from for every plate or platter that you present? Where do you get those ideas from?
Well, the inspiration comes from many different places. So, for example, a platter with seafood on it would definitely lead into a clean, something that looks bright and creative at the same time. So I would say inspiration-wise, this was definitely just to put together strong flavor, balance it with rice that doesn't have much flavor, spice to it, and then your crunchy salad on the side.
Okay, Shakira, we've got a very interesting burger in front of us. I don't even know if I should call it a burger because you've got this creative mind. You're probably going to call it something else. But tell us what we have here and what have you put inside?
All right, so this is our chicken splurge, and it actually has your butter lettuce on the inside, tomato. It's got chicken fillet. You can choose whether you like it spicy or mild, more of a lemon and herb flavor. We've got some tzatziki sauce, which is optional, and aubergine. We do a little bit of pomegranate on the inside for texture and a crunch, which also it tastes really good in the burger. And then once plated, we send this off to the table, and we've got a lovely surprise that awaits you.
So what do we have here, Chef Alton?
Well, this is our homemade cheese sauce that we go to the table and then we just inject it with it.
Okay. So that's a nice flavor of cheese sauce in the chicken
Yes,
splurge
it
as well.
actually pairs very well in the burger. With the flavors mixed all together, it actually gives off a lovely flavor and taste.
Okay, so what would you serve your chicken splurge with?
We've got options as well, which I feel the rustic fried chips go very well, and then you could do a butternut fries on the side or a salad if you'd really like to be healthy.
So your chicken splurge could double up as a light meal as well as a meal if you choose to add the sides to
Yes,
it as
definitely.
well.
So
Okay.
you could use it as well.
Okay, so Shakira, that was very informative and very exciting to see how we could take a simple meal and get it to look so presentable, so colorful, and it all just comes down to plating. So we've prepared quite a bit here. Maybe you can take us through something as simple as a French toast. You know, when we think about a French toast, we think about basic bread, but you've changed that and substituted bread for your sourdough bread. Maybe talk us about how you came up with that idea and how that changes the flavor just by changing your bread.
All right, so yes, it is quite a simple dish if you look at it from just the point of French toast, but together, like I said earlier, you do need assistance and someone by your side when you are working. Opinions do come. So with that, Chef Elton and I, Chef Elton is my head chef. In the kitchen, we work together and we felt that cutting the bread into long sticks makes it much more, it looks good. It's also much more, it's easy to hold and eat from. I would think maybe looking at it alone is appetizing, and then you've also got easy access to it, and then the fact that we're building it creates height and volume to the plate. So that's actually the reason why we thought cutting the sourdough would make it easier for us. And like I said, the sourdough is tough. It's not as soft as normal bread, so it's easier than for bite size.
So apart from it looking amazing, you also looked at the practicality on how it would be easier for anyone to be able to just pick up a piece of bread and enjoy that. So Chef Elton, tell us about the burger and that idea of using the syringe and the cheese sauce. Where did that come from?
That was actually a team effort. We thought of everyone puts the sauce on their burger, and when it's more like, if I can say, intimate, if someone comes to your table and put the sauce on for you on your burger, and as you watch it run down the side, it's just wonderful. It's magical. Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
It's different.
And Shakira, the prawns that you've created, you mentioned something about a homemade recipe. Take us more into what women can do at home just by taking simple recipes and putting them together. How would, like your homemade seafood sauce, what can you prepare from it? Is it just seafood? Can you then decide to take that sauce and turn it into serving it over grilled chicken? What can you do with your basic sauce?
That's a lovely question. To say or be direct, I would put this sauce together, pair it with seafood as well as maybe a chicken dish.
Yes, definitely.
It goes well together. It's a very subtle, it's a very smooth base sauce, but then we've got a little bit of your chili flakes and garlic in there as well. So both those ingredients pair very, very well with seafood. When I say home-based, yes, it was a lot of trial and error and getting a lot of opinions and tasting done, but of course, like you say, at home, if you are playing with ingredients or any type of recipes or doing anything that you'd like to get out there, or maybe better tasting wise, you can then add in, remove or take out and use it in many different dishes.
Okay, so coming back to a simple salad, salad definitely adds more color apart from it being a healthy option. But the salad that you've put together, what is your preference of your lettuce? You get so many types of lettuce leaves that you could use. What would you prefer adding to a salad?
I actually do enjoy the taste of a butter lettuce. It's soft and it's got a very nice, it's got a crisp, but it's subtle at the same time. It's not too crispy. And then you've got your purple lettuce that we put in for color, just to change up the look of it. And yeah, between I think the purple and the butter lettuce, it's a beautiful pair for your salad.
Shakira, just before we wrap up our show today, maybe you can share with our viewers on what they could use at home and how they could put together ideas on how to present their food with the plating that you do. Most of us tend to have the basic ingredients at home or different platter options at home. Maybe you can give us some advice on that.
All right, so as you can see, we've got a lot of color going on each plate. For example, if you do have crockery or any types of plates already that you've got at home, all you need to basically do is work with your ingredients. Most of our ingredients, which I would say, Chef, if you can maybe agree to this, items that we can find at home.
Definitely.
So it's nothing that it's nothing that I would say we would not be able to get or put together from home. So all those at home, all our viewers, what we'd like to, maybe a message to you would be, you can just use your creativity with whatever ingredients you have at home. Just change the color and maybe add in a little more to show off the beauty of your plate.
Well, thank you, Shakira Desai, for sharing those tips with our viewers and your recipes. And thank you, Alton. I've learned something new now, where you could actually syringe a cheese sauce into the burger. Awesome. Well, shukran for watching us today on Modern and Modest, and inshallah next week at the same time with myself, Noshina Ghani. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.